Austin home prices have dropped year over year for February. Is this crushing news, or is this the time for buyers to get in? Is the market crashing? Is the skies falling? Well, you're going to tell me in the comment section below. I know you will. Jeremy Knight, the Knight Group, your favorite Austin realtor. Now, there's a lot of people coming out saying a lot of different things about the Austin market, and I want to go through a lot of this. We got builder news, the Austin housing market numbers dropped. We're going to go through it all. Last week, I did a video talking specifically to buyers about what they're facing in the market. So pay attention to that video. Sellers, I think you really should pay attention because these numbers will affect you. And will these numbers help us reduce our property taxes this year? That is the big question, because property taxes, if you don't remember, last year, the city of Austin raised their overall budget from $5 billion to $5.5 billion. I guarantee you they raised it to $7 billion this year just because. What do you think about the Austin City Council continuing to raise our budget? Do you think Doge should come in and take care of the Austin budget? You tell me. I want to hear from you on that. But let's talk about the Austin housing numbers first, and we're going to talk about some interesting things. One thing before we do, though, here's one thing to note. The builder confidence level, this is going to astound you, dropped to 39 from 43. It has been dropping month over month. The builder confidence level is basically a way for builders to say like what they're feeling, right? Do they think the market's getting better or worse? Post-election, it went up, up over 50%, and now it's dropping month over month. Look, it is getting more expensive for home builders to build again. Obviously, there's tariffs. Tell me in the comment section what you feel about tariffs, if they're good or bad. But the tariffs are not helping builders. Buyers are still facing 6.8% interest rates. In fact, if I were to look right now, they're about 6.8. So they're down from the 7.5 where they were a couple weeks ago. So that's good. That's helping some buyers. But normally this time of year, buyers are flooding into the market. Well, guess what? My team is actually helping a lot of buyers. It's some sellers that are facing major issues. And that's because right now, the months of inventory in Austin read like this. So Austin itself, 5.3 months of inventory. So what that means that if we were to stop inventory right now and not list another home, it would take 5.3 months for us to clear out of all that inventory. They say 6 months makes it a buyer's market. So technically looking at this for Austin, I think we are in a buyer's market, because if you watched the video last week, we talked about how Brandy and Eileen on my team have been negotiating prices well below list price and negotiating on the interest rates, getting the interest rates down. So 5.3 months in Austin. Williamson County, 5 months inventory. Hayes County, 6.4 months inventory. Caldwell, 6.4 months of inventory. Bastrop, 7.2. And Travis County as a whole, 5.8 months of inventory. But here's where things get bad for Austin. In a month like February, we saw prices drop month over month. What's interesting though, when we look at the stats, the average list to close price ratio is starting to increase. What do I mean? So the average list to close price ratio is about 93.5%. And so for a long time, it was at 92%, 91%, meaning that a house that listed was selling for 8% below. Now we're at 93, which you think is not significant. What it tells me is that home sellers are starting to be a little more smart about how they're listing their homes. So they're listing their homes lower, but they're still taking a lower price. So buyers, I think this is really good information for you, because home prices that we're getting clients under contract are much lower. And what it's telling me, a couple things. Builders around the fringe, their inventory is starting to pile up. These deals that these builders are giving out, that's partly why you're seeing the average price come down. And that's why we're at $430,000 for the median price in Austin, 3.9% down from last year. It's the inventory. Active inventory for the MSA is up 16.7% to 10,000 units. That's some of the most that we've seen starting the year in a long time. Who told you that would happen? This guy. I've been telling you for a long time that we are going to start this year with more inventory. And I've got some information that we're going to show you, a couple videos that I think will be good. I found this. This is Clear Value Tax. So this is not a real estate guy, but here's what he said about buying a home. And I think for buyers, I think he said in this video, you can't time the market, but here's what he said that I thought was really, really interesting. He said this.
Take a good look. Do you notice a trend? Long term, home prices only go up. So even if you bought a home right before the previous housing market crash, I mean, take a look, you did all right. So look at the median home prices, what they were 30 years ago. I mean, look at 50 years ago. But you know what? I want to tell you a little secret. Do you see what's really happening here? In reality, homes are not becoming more valuable. The truth is that the US dollar is being devalued.
So I think it's really important to know that if you are buying a home, this is a prime example, and this slide actually shows it. It is a long-term purchase. So let's get back to the housing numbers. I got one other thing to talk about with this video. This is a great video. I think you should subscribe to Clear Value Tax. But Austin, city of Austin is up 2.6% year over year. Active listings are way up though. So we are seeing a lot of inventory in Austin. So maybe the March numbers don't show a huge, price appreciation. Close sales, we're down. Even last year, which was a slow year, closed sales for this year to last year are down, showing that there's a lot of uncertainty in the market for most buyers, which means that if you are buying, this isn't a good opportunity to buy and hold long term. Again, I'm not the realtor telling you to go buy a home. If you are in the market to buy a home, I think the biggest thing is you see all these fear channels out there that are scaring people into not buying a home. For you, you need to do what's best for you when buying. And sellers, I think it's really important if you're getting ready to sell that you price correctly, because these numbers are showing weakness. Now, if we look at Hayes County was down 6.8%. Closed sales were down 7.5%. Why did this all happen? Why did we go from January prices up to February it's down? Because interest rates went up in that short amount of time, and now interest rates are dropping back down around 6.8%. Obviously, a lot of people are worried about losing their jobs in this current climate with everything with tariffs and all that good stuff. But look at this. Austin pendings were down. Williamson County pendings were up. Hayes pendings were up. Caldwell down 30%. Bastrop down, and Travis County was down 6.8%. So look, overall, the numbers are not fantastic for Austin. And if you're a home seller, I think it's really, really important that you price correctly. But here's the positive of my notes. Here's the positive. Under 500K was 63% of the sales in February. 53% of the homes that sold in February were under that price. So I know everybody is saying that Austin is so expensive and getting expensive, yet we're seeing that most of the people that are buying in the quote unquote more affordable price point, which is, I understand, is not necessarily affordable for everyone, but in that median price point, more people are able to buy in that price point. Now, I did a video talking about that rental rates were down 22% from the peak. Now that was for apartments, but overall they were up a little bit. But the median rents in February were down 2.4%. I don't ever talk about rents on this channel. With a median rental of about $2,200. Caldwell County was the lowest with $1,900, and the city of Austin was at $2,400. Now, I know what you're also saying. You're saying, Jeremy, Reventure and everybody else is talking about 2008 all over again. Now, there was a lot of market dynamics, and I'm going to go back to this video with Clear Value Tax, and I'm going to show you what he said, because I felt that this was a really, really good video and explained where we are as far as if we are crashing or not. Here's what he says.
So both added to the supply of homes. So right now on the construction side, we're still at a shortage of homes, and foreclosures are not anywhere close to the previous housing market crash. So we're not, take a look, we're not even at the 2005 levels leading up to the housing market crash. So if the housing market crash is going to happen, maybe it'll start, 3 years from now, because as you can see, foreclosures, they're not just going to skyrocket to 2010 levels. It's going to take multiple years to build up to that point. So just a heads up, from the start of the housing market crash to rock bottom prices, it took about 5 years. So if you're trying to time the market and hoping to get the absolute best price, you may have to wait 3 years for the crash to start, and then about 5 more years for it to bottom. So get ready for that moment, maybe in 8 years, if things go similarly compared to the last housing market crash.
Right. And so I think what the biggest thing here is he's saying that if we were to get a crash, that is what we would see. And I think that's really important for you to understand. That's a big if. The market dynamics are definitely different. Yes, you're going to have all these people that skew the data and say that, yeah, that foreclosures are going through the roof when in reality they're not even close to where they were in 2005, which led to the, because here's what led from 2005 to 2008. It was overbuilding. Builder confidence is at 39. Do you think builders are rushing to go build more homes right now? No, they're slowing down. They're going to slow down their builds, and they're going to take longer to get some of these builds. Now, the Austin market, you have Kyle. If you want more information about some of the builds coming, I'm going to do a video next week about some of the major builds. So drop a comment below if you want to see this. What do you think about all this information? Am I absolutely crazy? I don't know, maybe I am. Jeremy Nathan Knight Group, your favorite Austin realtor. Look, if you are looking to buy or sell in the Austin area, make sure you reach out to us. Our information is in the description below. A lot of people reach out to us from there, and we've helped many of you buy and sell in the Austin market. Sellers, good luck, price right. Make sure you hire the right realtor.